Now, it looks like even though Al did apologize to Miss Leanne Tweeden, there's no proof of really any intentional wrongdoing on Al's part either. And it seems like a miscommunication between the two performers in the USO tour, right? And Al was thinking, I'm gonna grab her by the neck and, pull her and kiss her on the lips, right? Like he did with Laura San Giacomo in the movie Stuart Saves His Family. Though it was a different type of kiss, right? This was an in-scene kiss on the lips, right? Right. Well, he must have been thinking, well, I'm going to do a romantic type kiss with his co-star, right? Now, she, in her own mind, was thinking Bob Hope, turned the cheek and he gets her on the cheek or something, right? Or not at all. I don't know. But the difference is each person's frame of mind, right? There. She didn't actually ask him, she assumed. When you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. both ways. And don't ask. If he had asked, how are you going to kiss me out? Well, he would say, describe it to her, right? Oh, grab her out the neck and blah, 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 blah. And pull you into the kitchen, right? Well, if she says, well, no, I was thinking more lines of I would turn my head as you came in the kitchen on cheek, right? Then she communicated how she wanted the scene, and Al, being a current comedian, didn't even think about that maybe either, because he kissed Laura in the movie, right? Now, that doesn't mean she didn't see it the way she saw it either, but again, he saw it differently too, right? That's what classically, when two people look at something from a different point of view, right? Of the same thing, but one saying it was sexual harassment, which could become criminal, and one saying, well, I was just kissing her as part of the skit, right? But also a more current comedian than Bob Hope, as we get into the details, right? Of what she was thinking versus what he was thinking there too, right? That becomes he said, she said during the whole process too. Now, if afterwards, like I said, the only thing they have is a photo, right? Well, what led up to the photo is that only one photo, and again, like Mr. Trump said, in his response to it too, right? But again, now let's look at his cases. Now, one of the things we need to find out is where are the women saying he actually touched him, right? Now, we know in 2005, while doing the show Entertainment Tonight or something with Billy Bush, he was caught on tape saying it's okay to touch women's private parts, that they'll let you do it, and stuff like that, right? All right. Here's the story by Rosalind S. Helderman on October 22nd, 2016. Republican President nominee Donald Trump told CNN anchor Anderson Cooper at the second presidential debate on October 9th that he would never touch women without their consent. The comment came after the Washington Post published a video of Trump bragging to Access Hollywood host Billy Bush in 2005 that he could kiss and grope women without their permission because he was a celebrity. Have you ever done those things? Cooper asked at the debate. I will tell you, no, I have not. Right. Trump responded. Since then, a series of women have come forward to accuse Trump of inappropriately touching or kissing them without their permission. Trump has denied the allegations in an October 15th morning tweet. He called them 100% fabrications and made-up charges pushed strongly by the media and the Clinton campaign, warning that they may poisoned the minds of the American voter. Here is the roundup of the allegations from named accusers who have spoken publicly, as well as the Trump campaign's response. Kristen Anderson told the Washington Post that Trump put his hand up her skirt, touching her vagina through her underwear during a brief encounter in Manhattan nightclub in the early 1990s. Now, a photographer, Anderson had been an up-and-coming model who was earning a living as a makeup artist and restaurant hostess. She said she was engrossed in conversation with acquaintances while seated on a red velvet couch when she felt the head of a stranger slip up her skirt. She said she shoved the hand away and fled, but got a good look at Trump, who was a well-known celebrity at the time. Two friends told the Post that Anderson had told them about the incident in the years since it occurred, including one who said she was told days later. That's suspicious there, Mr. Trump. And you said it with Billy Bush. Now, no one can prove it after all this time, I guess, if you just did touched her vagina, but that is sexual assault, right? You're crossing the line, right? I've always kept quiet, and why should I keep quiet? Anderson told the Post. Trump campaign spokeswoman Hope Hicks called Anderson's account a phony allegation by someone looking to get some free publicity. At a Friday rally, Trump appeared to refer to Anderson's account. One came out recently where I was sitting alone in some club. I really don't sit alone that much. Honestly, folks, I don't think I sit alone. Anderson never told the Post that Trump was alone, right? Alright, Rachel Crooks. Rachel Crooks was a 22-year-old receptionist working for a real estate company with offices in Trump Tower that did business with the Trump organization when she told the New York Times that Trump kissed her on the mouth without permission. She said she encountered the mogul outside an elevator in 2005. After shaking his hand, she told the Times he began kissing her cheek and then kissed her on the mouth. Disturbed, Crooks told several friends about the encounter shortly after it happened. I was so upset that he thought I was so insignificant that he could do that, she told the Times. None of this ever took place, Trump told the Times. Jessica Drake. An adult film actress, Jessica Drake, appeared at a news conference with lawyer Gloria Allred on October 22nd to accuse Trump of a man acting on his behalf of offering her $10,000 and the use of Trump's private jet if she would go to his hotel suite alone after they met at a charity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe in 2006. She also said that Trump kissed her and two other women without their permission at the event. Trump's campaign called the account totally false and ridiculous and said Trump did not know the women. Joe Harth. In a lawsuit described by the Boston Globe in April, Joe Harth alleged that Trump repeatedly harassed her over several years, starting in 1992, when she and her boyfriend operated a Florida company that ran a beauty contest and other shows that Trump wanted to be held at his Atlantic City casino. In one 1992 incident, Harth alleged Trump put his hand up her skirt to her crotch under a table while dining with her and her boyfriend in 1993. She alleged that while giving her a tour of a Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, he pushed her against a wall of the room being used as daughter Ivanka's bedroom and began kissing her. I was admiring the decoration, and next thing I know, he's pushing me against the wall and has his hands on me, Harth told the New York Times in a recent interview. Harth and her boyfriend's business relationship ended in a dispute that caused them to file a lawsuit against Trump, according to the Globe. Harth filed another lawsuit against Trump on her own. The litigation was settled in 1997, and Harth later dated Trump for several months, in 1998. She also sent an email to the Trump campaign last year declaring herself definitely Team Trump and met with Trump at a campaign event in January. She told the Times she was trying to get work. Right? Trump has denied Harth's allegations repeatedly over the years, and Hicks, the campaign spokeswoman, told the Times recently that Mr. Trump denies each and every statement made by Ms. Harth. Kathy Heller. Right? About 1997, Kathy Heller told The Guardian that she was attending a Mother's Day brunch at Mar-a-Lago when she was introduced to Trump, who, she said, grabbed her and moved to kiss her on the mouth. She said she leaned back to avoid him, but Trump exclaimed, "Oh, come on," and then held her firmly while he kissed her on the side of her mouth for an uncomfortably long moment. A friend told The Guardian that Heller shared the story in 2015. Heller said she had met Hillary Clinton and donated to her campaign, but came forward after Trump and his supporters insisted that the Access Hollywood tape represented only lewd talk. It's action, Heller said. In a statement, Trump's campaign spokesman, Jason Miller, called Heller's account false. There is no way that something like that would have happened in a public place on Mother's Day at Mr. Trump's resort. It would have been the talk of Palm Beach for the past 2 decades, he said, calling Heller's political motivation Democratic activists with a legal dispute against this same resort. Jessica Leeds. Jessica Leeds told the New York Times that she was seated next to Trump in the first-class cabin of an airplane in the early 1980s when he lifted the armrest between them and began rubbing her breast and trying to put his hand up her skirt. He was like an octopus, she told the Times. His hands were everywhere. Leeds, who was 38 at the time, had never met Trump. Trump has denied the allegations that suggested that Leeds was not attractive enough to draw his attention. I was sitting with him on the plane, and he went after me on the plane, right? Trump said at a rally in North Carolina on Friday, mocking, impersonating the woman, "Yeah, I'm going to go after, believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you. Temple Target McDowell. Temple Target McDowell told NBC News that she met Trump in 1997 when she was 21 and participated in the Miss USA beauty pageant as Miss Utah. Trump owned the pageant at the time. She said Trump kissed her on the lips without permission when she met him at a rehearsal for the event. She said he kissed her again when she met with him at Trump Tower to discuss modeling contracts. McDowell said the kiss discomfited a pageant official who was also present. I don't even know who she is, Trump told NBC News in response. She claimed this took place in a public area. I never kissed her. I emphatically deny this ridiculous claim. And that is sort of problematic if it was in public, right? As he said, it happened in public. And the thing is, if you're a celebrity, why aren't there any photos, things like that? But again, let's keep reading, right? Minnie McGillivray told the Palm Beach Post that Trump groped her buttocks when she attended an event at Mar-a-Lago in 2003. Then 23, McGillivray said the incident occurred as she stood with a photographer friend who was working on the event. A concert by Ray Charles. She said Trump gave her a pretty good nudge, more of a grab at the event as she stood in the group of people. The photographer, Ken Davidoff, confirmed to the Palm Beach Post that McGillivray immediately told him that Trump had grabbed her. Trump's campaign has denied the account, right? Well, if there's a photo, like with who? Senator Al Franken, you can tell it in the photo, right? Right. Or not. Natasha Stoyanov. Or not. Right. In an article posted to the website of People magazine, Natasha Stoyanov wrote that she was a reporter for the magazine assigned to the Trump beat when she visited Trump's Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago, in December 2005 to write a story about his first anniversary with wife Melania. Right? She wrote that while Melania was upstairs changing, Trump pushed her against the wall and kissed her, forcing his tongue down my throat. Stoyanov said the encounter was interrupted by Trump's butler. Afterwards, she said she told a colleague at People who encouraged her to disclose the incident to her editor, but she said she didn't because she feared retaliation, right? Like many women, I was ashamed to blame myself for his transgression, she wrote. Trump has denied this allegation, telling the crowd at a rally Friday, when you look at that horrible woman last night, you said, I don't think so. He also tweeted, why didn't the writer of the 12-year-old article in People magazine mention the incident in her story? Because it did not happen. An attorney for Melania Trump also demanded that People retract the story, indicating that Melania never ran into Stoyanov on the street after the incident, as the journal recounted in her piece, right? On Tuesday, People magazine published the account of 6 individuals who said Stoyanov had told them about her encounter with Trump in the years since it occurred. Some immediately after it took place. One friend recalled that she was walking with Stoyanov when the reporter bumped into Melania Trump. Karina, Virginia, 45, a yoga instructor from New Jersey, appeared at a news conference with lawyer Aldred on October 20th to accuse Trump of groping her in 1998. She said she encountered Trump outside the U.S. Open tennis tournament while both were waiting to be picked up by town cars. She had never met Trump but said he began commenting on her appearance to a group of men before approaching her, putting his arm around her and reaching down to touch her breast. Trump spokeswoman Jessica Nito dismissed Virginia's account as a coordinated publicity-seeking attack orchestrated by Allred, a Hillary Clinton supporter. Summer Burvos, a former contestant on the television show The Apprentice. Burvos held a news conference alongside Allred. Sorry. The famed woman's rights lawyer, Gloria, on October 14th to accuse Trump of aggressively kissing and groping her breast during a 2007 meeting that took place when she sought a job at the Trump Organization. Vervos, who now owns a California restaurant, said the incident occurred in Trump's bungalow suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel, where she had gone to discuss employment with Trump over dinner. She said he grew cold after she rejected his advances. Later she was offered a job, but at half the salary they had been discussing. Right. Vervos said she told several friends and family members about the incident at the time, and she emailed Trump in 2016, and what she said was an attempt to encourage him to apologize for his behavior. "I've been incredibly hurt by our previous interactions," she said. She wrote. In a statement, Trump said he vaguely remembered Vervos from the reality TV show, but denied he met her at a hotel or greeted her inappropriately. His campaign also released a statement from John Barry, who identified himself as Vervos' first cousin, who said Vervos had always spoken about Trump in glowing terms and suggested her accusation might be tied to Trump's refusal to visit her restaurant during the primary. The campaign also distributed what it said was an email Vervos wrote to Trump's assistant on April 16th, in which she wrote that she was the only former show contestant who owned a business where people could come to express their admiration for Trump, and said she would greatly appreciate reconnecting with him. On Sunday, a licensed clinical therapist who used to be friends with Vervos stepped forward to say that Vervos had confided in her in 2010 that Trump had been verbally, physically, and sexually aggressive with her. Allred, who also released the text messages between Vervos and her cousin to demonstrate there has been a family rift between them in recent months. Editor's note. This list has been updated to include only women who have appeared publicly or spoken with reporters about their allegations. One additional accuser, Cassandra Sirlis, posted an entry on Facebook indicating that Trump continually grabbed her buttocks when she was Miss Washington in 2013. She has not otherwise spoken about the experience and has not returned messages. Now, I don't know quite how to deal with all that, but all we can do is, like I said, examine what the women said, where he Next thing we touched their vaginas and stuff like that, right? That would be an actual sexual assault then, right? If you did all that, right? And that would be a form of sexual assault if he thought it was okay to stick his head up a woman's skirt and touch her vagina, right? Now, it seems like only 2 women he might have actually did that with, right? The kissing I can't really say yes or no to, because in that incident, the woman has to say no, right? So, but there is a problem if he touched the woman's vagina on the skirt. That would be a sexual assault. The others I'm not sure about, right? But it looks like the only thing he might have done, according to the women, is actually touch him in the public forum of the skirt. But there should also be other witnesses if you're at a club or something like that too, right? You know, I know you would try to do that on the side away too, but even if you do, and you're looking at the crowd, you're seeing if they're not distracted, again, that can happen, right? But again, you gotta be able to prove something like that too, right? Because if you know he said that in the interview with Billy Bush, that's you come forward afterwards, that's suspicious too there too, right? I don't know if you can prove it if you're talking in the 80s, 90s, and all the way up to today as well, right? So you gotta, say he kissed the girl on the airplane. Well, the stewardess would see all that. The people in the plane would see all that, right? There would be witnesses. You can't just say, oh, well, he kissed and groped me on a plane full of people. Just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. Or it was in a public event and he didn't kiss me, or when Melania went up the stairs, the butler saw me. Well, the butler, even if he worked for Trump then, would be a witness for you if you really saw that, right? You can call him as a witness in your case, right? Right. Unless you're what? Making it up, right? Now, that's not proof you are wrong, nor that Trump did anything himself, right? But again, it's funny you're coming forward after he got talking to Billy Bush as well about touching their vaginas, right? So you got to be able to prove something like that too, right? Now, I do know, though, in a club, you don't know when someone's going to walk around and you're trying to stick your head up a girl's skirt, slowly anyway. See, when you do something like that, say you're in the public forum, right? Here's your problem. People are always walking around. You're in a club, right? They're in the NC, shit like that, going to go get something to drink, shit like that. The only way you can really stick your head up a woman's skirt is what? If A, no one's looking in your direction when you do it. B, you got to do it either slowly or quickly, and then you touch it, and then you got to pull it right out again, because people are still going to be walking around, right? That's hard to do for anyone in a public forum. Even if it's dark and not as well lighted, you can still tell if you're walking around when someone starts trying to put their head up someone's skirt, even if it's a mini skirt, for example. That would be easier, but again, you can see when someone's put their head at a certain direction, right? See, when you start doing it, you would have to do like this, and then go in for the move, right? Right. So that's the point there too, right? There's no proof that anyone else in the club saw that or even knew about that, right? And you can't say in a public forum he did it without anyone catching you either. Don't quite make sense there, right? So that's the problem, right? And it only came out after the Billy Bush thing, right? Now, that's why he's denied it, right? So you got to prove something. Anyone in a campaign can accuse anyone of doing anything because we have what's called freedom of speech, right? True or not? True or not. And the thing is, freedom of speech means some people will lie, especially in the political campaign, and some people tell the truth, right? but it's what you can prove during the campaign, because the other side can lie and deny it, or it never happened, right? Always the two options there, right? And she's making it up, right? Now, there's no way to prove 100% what's what, right? Because you got to be caught in the what act. But if she said the butler was there, they can subpoena the butler to court, silly, right? If the butler saw that, even if he's what's called a hostile witness, like in my cousin Vinny, when Vinny called Maria's character, I forgot her name, but Marissa's character to testify about the tires, right? In that scene, what happened was he called her to the stand, and she gave what's called the silent treatment during the, that's my cold. It's not coming out nice. But during the trial, she was given when she was up on the stage, she was given what's called the silent treatment when talking to him. And he started trying to ask her questions and stuff like that. And he asked for permission to treat her as a hostile witness. Even if the butler saw it, you can subpoena him to court, right? Did she subpoena the butler to court, even if he would be a hostile witness against her? No. So that means what? It sounds like she's fabricating the story, right? It doesn't prove it, no. But the butler is the key to the story, right? If it goes to trial, what would happen in the trial, right? If the butler saw it, he would be called as a witness for her, for the prosecution if she was to prosecute the case, right? That's why it's fishy. She's not taking real legal action against him and charging him with an actual crime of assault, right? And that's the problem too, right? If, like she said, the butler saw it, she could use the butler as a witness, and he has to testify and tell the truth too. Now, anyone outside of court can sure lie, but you cannot lie to the police during an investigation, or that's a criminal offense, even if your employer, Mr. Trump, can fire you, right? But the problem is what, right? Even if he does, you still got to do the right thing to protect women from Trump too, right? What's more important, being fired by Trump or the woman's safety in his presence, which will be the whole point there. Now, of course, that's what they can argue too. Well, even if we were caught about that, he can lie too. Well, yes and no. Legally, it's called what? Perjury when you lie to the court, right? And of course, up till a trial, anyone on both sides can say what they want, right? And there's no proof without a trial. So what's the difference between an accusation and a provable fact? The details of the different stories themselves. Now, you mean to tell me the butler would not see if he was kissing the woman, like she said, and never reported it to the police himself? Or she didn't think to tell the police themselves then? Why not? If the butler who saw the incident is contacted by the police after a sexual assault, even if it's forcibly kissing the woman, they can ask the butler himself, did that happen? Right? And if he lies for Mr. Trump, who would get in trouble? Him. Then she would have someone she could say, well, I went to the police, I told them the butler saw it, but he said no, it didn't, right? Then she could say the butler lied, maybe. But if she didn't do that, she sort of put it in her own mind that the butler wouldn't say anything for her, right? Well, you don't know unless you try. That's the problem there too, right? So she did not, like most rape victims or most people that are sexually assaulted anyway, go to the police first, right? Usually when a woman's traumatized or attacked like that, even if you broke their breast or touched their vaginas, you can always go to the police, right? Did this occur in any of the so-called situations where he actually touched her vagina instead? No. That either means he thought she was allowed it, even if he did or not, or it never happened. Those two things can occur too. But the problem is what? There's no way to prove it, right? When someone comes forward after seeing the clip with Billy Bush as well, right? Right. Now, innocent or guilty, I still voted for Hillary, right? But again, that's the point. That's the point. I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence here, but that's odd even for a paranoid schizophrenic, right? To see all that occurring, but the girl's not going to the police about it either, especially the one who said the butler witnessed it and didn't think she had a strong enough case with the butler, right? Is that what you would think if you the butler witnessed it too, right? No, you might say, well, even if he says no, but I go to the police, and they say they can't really do anything, at least I've reported it to the police, right? Because again, more than likely he might say no or yes, but if he does, the police know at least he did something, and that way it won't happen to another one either. There too. Now, it's just, again, hypothetical what someone might would do in that situation. But again, it's hard to prove kissing, groping, touching breasts unless he left bruises on the breast as well, right? So when you touch someone's breast, there's different ways to do it, right? You can do it like this, or like this, or, like that, whatever. And again, you can play with the nipples, whatever. I'm not doing it for my sexual jollies, but it's demonstrating. Nipples a bit, things like that. And you can suck them. So like that. whatever. Or blow in the ear. Not slobber in the ear, blow in the ear. Trust me on that. Right here, bro? And again, different things like that, right? Now, of course, there are only possibilities you can do with a female. If she allows you. But if she don't, she's fighting you, well, what happened? She would get bruised, right? So she didn't go to the police if he was doing all that, right? And no one else on the plane saw it, but she said it happened, right? Was she alone with Trump on the whole plane, right? See, that's how you can tell a credible story from a made-up one too, right? How does it stand when you look at the whole scene? You can tell the bullshitter a mile away. Why? Because they think their lie is strong enough with what was recently released by the tape that if they come forward with the lie, right, it'll damage the person's reputation at least, though it's not provable. But if you really listen to what all they said, the story, if you listen to the details of it, is where the lie really is in the actual physical encounter between her and Trump to begin with, right? So she says they were on the plane and he was groping her breast and kissing her. So no one else on the plane saw it but her. Not the waitresses walking by putting out the, was it in first class? I mean, where was that at exactly on the plane? I mean, was other people around her? Where the waitress in the back or something? I mean, there's little details she's not telling you in the story that need to be brought out in the story for it to be true or false too, right? And like I said, perception is 9/10 of the law, right? And if Al was looking at the kiss, like I said earlier, differently than the female, the news reporter, Leanne, then you have a difference of opinion of how the kiss should have went down. But that don't mean Al's way to kiss her was the same as hers either. But that don't mean he was trying to force her to kiss him. If she was expecting a different kind of kiss and he kissed her differently than she expected, that's just how a man can also kiss a woman, by grabbing her behind the neck, putting his arm around her waist, and kissing her this way too. You never seen that in the movies either? Yeah. Where a man will grab the woman, put his arm around her waist, and pull her into kissing, right? And it's usually a wet, sloppy kiss unless, again, for comedic effect. So that's the point there too, right? It all depends on the actual circumstances, whether something's a sexual assault or not. Now, the next thing I'll look into is the Roy case. A little bit later on, I'll take another little nap because sinuses are bothering me. Got a little cold, so now the light really been to work. But again, no problem. I'll deal with it. It is maybe sinuses or something like that. Maybe we got some sinuses when walking through the neighborhood, right? Some pollen in the air or something, right? But whatever it is, it's no more than the common cold, and I'll be fine. Thanks. Alright, y'all have a great morning. Bye bye.